So April's been kind of a weird month, and I figured why not break down all of the weirdness inside of this video. So that's exactly what we're gonna do today. We're gonna go behind the scenes with stuff. I'm gonna give you some updates on what's going on, and yeah, just share what's going on in the life of Olivia Kelliher, because there's a lot of weirdness. Not really weirdness, but just like stuff that I'm not used to, I guess. So to give you some context, I have been doing done-for-you social media management for about 2 years now. I started like an agency. I was able to scale it up. You know, we were hitting like 10K months and stuff like that. But then in September, I lost 3 of my biggest clients, and I was kind of back at square zero with everything, and I had to go back through the pipeline and try and find new clients. And that whole process right there made me realize that I don't want to be doing done-for-you services anymore. I don't want to be the one who's doing all the nitty-gritty work. I don't want to be the one who's doing, you know, the graphic design, the video editing, all of that. That was just not really what I was looking for anymore. So what I've done is I've switched over to a coaching model. And this coaching model is to help freelancers, you know, service-based business owners, online service-based business owners get more visible with their content and start monetizing their content so that they get more clients. And I started this process in like January, but making a massive shift like this is really tough because I kind of just cut out all of my big clients. I haven't taken anyone on, and full transparency, I've been living off of the savings that I had from, you know, 6 months ago when I was hitting those bigger months in my business. So income-wise, things have been a little bit rough recently, and I want to share this because like I think it's not talked about enough in this business world. And the whole point of this YouTube video or this YouTube channel and my podcast and everything is to give you guys that transparency and to show you what it's like going from, you know, point A to point B when you make massive shifts and like that in your business, because there's a lot of stuff that isn't talked about until you're actually in the dirt doing it. So I decided to make this shift, and I haven't had a lot of clients the past few months to kind of hold me income wise. So the stress that I was dealing with back when I first started my business with finances has come full circle again. It's kind of come full circle because I'm living off of the savings that I had back in the fall when I was hitting those big months. And now that I'm hitting these, you know, lower months again, I kind of want to share a little bit of mindset work that I've been doing, and just like how I've been dealing with this, because when you're in this process of transitioning, it's really difficult because the audience that I was marketing to for done-for-you services is different from the market that the audience that I'm marketing to. God, I cannot get that phrasing right. The audience that I'm marketing to for coaching services. And because of that, like there's a lot of clean housing, I guess, like spring cleaning with my followers that I have to do. So from like November, when I first had this idea, to like right now in April, almost May, I've had a drastic drop in followers. I've had also an incline in followers. I've had like this weird massive shift is going on, and it's kind of taken like a mental toll on me, not gonna lie, because I see like all these people leaving, but I also see these people coming in, and it's like I don't really know what to be thinking. Like, am I happy that I have new people coming in? Obviously I'm happy because those are the people I want to be in my world, but dang, I'm losing all these followers at once. So it's like this weird mental paradigm that's going on right now where the vanity metrics, like as much as I always tell people, don't focus on the vanity metrics, like when they're right there in front of your face and you see yourself losing followers, it kind of hits you really hard. Same with like my email list. I've had a ton of people unsubscribe from my email list recently, and that's been kind of rough as well. But I know in the back of my head that's a good thing, because the people who actually want to be on my email list, who I'm trying to target, once they leave and once I like delete them and stuff like that, it's going to increase my open rate. It's going to look better data wise for me. So I'm not as upset about that, but it's definitely pretty tough. Making this massive shift is definitely really, really tough because, like I said, I'm targeting basically a brand new audience now. And a lot of the people who were following me for back in the original days for side hustle stuff, they're like, what is this girl even doing now? Like, I don't care about her. I'm just gonna leave. And then anyone who would have been interested in done for you services, like the content is just a little bit different. So it's not resonating with them. So like, okay, we're gonna leave too. So it's kind of like starting from square one again. It's basically like starting a business from scratch here. And yeah, that is what's going on with the actual business side. I figured I'd share that though, because it's been kind of rough trying to basically start from square zero again. But now I'm helping other people because I'm very passionate about freelance work and people starting their own businesses and like being able to hit consistent months with their freelance income. Because one thing that I've realized is when you're doing this sort of stuff, you have contracts, and typically the contracts are like 3 to 6 months, maybe 6 to 12 months. I've only heard of a few people who've had more than 12-month contracts, but because those are all like short income months, like short contracts, it's really hard to determine how much you're gonna make throughout the year. Like at the beginning of 2022, I was at like maybe $3,000 a month, but then you scale or like you fast forward to end of August and September, like I was hitting 10K plus months, like no problem. And then all of a sudden it drops off. Like it's very, very inconsistent. So that's when I would lean heavy into my affiliate marketing and into my digital products, was during those slow months and trying to balance everything out like that. And now my goal is to help freelancers do that, to basically level the playing field a little bit. You don't just have to be focusing on client work 24/7, because when you focus just on client work and trying to get clients into your world, you're gonna burn out so quickly. Because you only have a maximum capacity when you're dealing with clients. And something that I didn't really think about that really is true is the whole outsourcing factor. And, you know, everyone's like, oh, if you hit a certain income threshold, then you should outsource your work. And yes, that is true, but it's really hard to do with shorter contracts. Because if you're making, let's say, $12,000 a month with 4 clients, but their contract ends, like 2 people end at the same time, let's say, or around the same time, and you start outsourcing a lot of work, it's really, you can't hold that person onto your team for too long. And it's this weird like wobble effect where like you're getting high ticket people and then you're losing them. And then like, it's kind of like the wave factor, and you never really want to be at the bottom of the wave. And what I've noticed is the best way to kind of stay a little bit ahead and not have like this giant income dip and then rise is leveling the playing field with digital products, with affiliate marketing, with other reoccurring revenue streams. And that has really been kind of like my saving grace with my business, is relying on those sort of things. Because, you know, you have months where it's like, okay, I'm at max capacity, I have 4 clients on my plate, I'm hitting $12,000 a month, but I can't take on any more work, so I'm gonna outsource. And then you start outsourcing, and then it's just like this snowball effect where like you think you can take on more work, but realistically you can't, because you haven't trained them properly, and by the time you train them properly, you have to offboard them. And this goes back into the whole like, oh, we'll try and keep them into your world, you know, sign a new contract, a longer contract, and that's totally possible. I've done that with clients. But with freelance work and with solopreneur work, it's kind of like a glorified, unsteady 9-to-5 job if you don't have the proper systems in place. And one of the key systems that I tell a lot of my coaching clients right now is you want to have these recurring revenue streams for those months when you are in those like wobble effects, when you're at like the high part of the wave and it's just going to come crashing down, because that's just the reality of it. Like if you're starting out and you don't have the systems in place to hold those 10K months, then you're never going to reach it again, or it's going to take you a while to get there. And from my personal experience, the best way to hold those months is with recurring products, with recurring revenue. So stepping into May, okay, we're getting some updates now. We're back into update land. Stepping into May, I am announcing two things. One is a super secret special announcement that I'll be announcing on May 1st. That's going to be very exciting. I'm super excited for that one. So stay tuned. If you're not on Instagram, if you're not following me on Instagram, I post updates on there on my stories. So go follow me on Instagram. Number 2 is something that I've been teasing a little bit, which is called the Blow It Up Blueprint. So this is kind of weird. I never really talk about my offers inside of YouTube videos, but I'm gonna do it right now just because this is an update video. It's not really like targeting you to sign up for the Blow It Up Blueprint, but if you're interested, let me know in the comments. Basically, I'm creating this 6-week intensive course for everything that I talked about in the past 5 minutes of this video, like how to build up recurring revenue for freelancers. Because like freelancing is great, doing solopreneur work is great, but if you're still trading time for money and you're at max capacity with client work, then it's kind of impossible to scale your business. And that's where I was getting stuck. I was getting stuck at the scaling part. I was getting stuck with like figuring out how to go from like 10K months to 20K months because I didn't have like the in between. It was just like, hey, here are my freebies, and then hey, pay me like $10,000 a month for my social media management services. And people are like, what? But what if I'm not ready for that? What if I just want something in between? So during those slow months, it can feel super impossible to make ends meet, which is why I've created this Blow It Up Blueprint. And it's 6 weeks together. So every Monday starting, I think, what's the date? May 22nd. We're going to do a live training together. And we're basically just going to go over how to build multiple streams of income so that you're not just focusing on client work. And we're going to go over how to monetize your current freelancing clients without asking for another sale. So this is where upselling really comes in handy. This is also where selling your clients affiliate offers comes in really handy. So if you're like a website developer, like figuring out who you should partner with for client work. So like different domains, different website hosting platforms. Like this is just an example, but like how you can make money off of your current clients without basically asking them for another sale through affiliate work. And then we're going to talk about digital products. So digital products that make you money while you sleep, so that, like, again, you're not just focusing on the graphic design for clients or the copywriting for clients. Like you can just focus on the client work and then you're still making money in the back end to supplement those lower months when inevitably the contract is going to end. And then the last big thing is we're doing a hot seat coaching with that. So there's going to be 2 hot seat sessions, and I'm very excited about this because I've never done hot seat, like I've never hosted hot seats before, but I've been a part of a lot of hot seat programs. So it's really fun when you're like able to talk one-on-one with the person for like 20 minutes and they can answer your questions. So that's going to be another big thing. But yeah, that's a big update. I'm very, very excited for the Blow It Up Blueprint. And like I said, not trying to like plug it right now, but also kind of trying to plug it a little bit. So if you're interested, let me know in the comments or just like send me a DM on Instagram, because the price is going to go up after May 1st. So yeah, so that's another big update. And then the last thing I really want to cover in this video is I've been making a lot of big business moves, similar to like what I said at the beginning, talking about switching over to coaching and consulting and, you know, doing more one-to-one kind of work rather than like just here's all of the social media stuff, go do it on your own. I don't really like doing that. I have learned over the past few years that's not for me. I like having communication with clients. I like talking strategy and doing one-on-one, because the hard thing for at least social media managers, and I know this is true across all marketing realms, is when you're hired for a project, you are focused on just that one area of genius. So as a social media manager, I'm just focused on social media, which is great, like awesome. But the downside is when the clients don't start to see results that they're looking for, like sales or leads, sometimes it's not your fault. Like you could be doing your job to the best of your ability. Like you're the very top of the funnel as a social media manager, and there's so many other factors that go into play. And what I've realized is when clients don't start to see results, that's when they end up ditching whoever they hired for the job. And the downside to that is it could have been anything. It could have been the product itself. The client's product could have just been trash, or the service could have been trash. The funnel itself could have needed a lot of work. Their emails could have needed work. Like, that one piece, the social media, is like a tiny piece of a 1,000-piece puzzle. So that was the part of it I didn't really like, is people were hiring me for like this one area of genius, and I couldn't really help them with other areas. Like, I knew there were problems in other areas, and I would give them like little like nudges and be like, hey, you might want to focus on this a little bit because I think this might be holding you up, which was awesome. But they weren't willing to hire me for all areas of their marketing, and I wasn't willing to go in and fix all of their problems for them. So this is why I've made the massive shift into coaching, and what that allows me to do is look at everything from a more global perspective, looking at it more as a whole and saying, oh, okay, I see, like, I can actually get into the nitty-gritty of your business, but you're the one behind the scenes actually doing the work. And I can tell you where to go and fix the problems and why the problems aren't working a certain way. And I'm not eating up all of my time focusing on creating Instagram posts and posting on stories and editing TikTok videos. Like, I can focus my time on really deeply analyzing your social media or just any part of your marketing in general and figuring out how you can like expedite this whole process. Like, what is actually going on behind the scenes that's not getting you the results you're looking for, instead of just being like posting consistently on social media and realizing like it's not going to go anywhere. Because I've had clients do that. I've had clients who I've worked with that we post for like 6 months straight, and I'm doing my job to the best of my ability, but because they haven't figured out something else behind the scenes, it's holding them up from getting the results they want. And the awesome part about coaching and, you know, working as a mentor with people is that I can do that. I can go behind the scenes with them and like look at their lead magnets, look at their emails, look at all the little smaller things that, you know, they wouldn't really have thought of because they thought it was just the social media aspect. Yeah, those are all of the May updates. Doing a lot of inner work, changing a lot of things behind the scenes in the business, planning a lot of offers and events and stuff like that. And I'm super, super excited to see where it goes. So if you want to follow a little bit more on the journey, or if you want some more educational resources, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not already doing that. I would assume if you're watching this video in particular, you probably already have, because I doubt any rando is going to come watch this and not understand what I'm talking about. But anyway, if you want more resources, make sure to subscribe, give me a follow on Instagram, on TikTok, and I've also come up with a podcast. If you're watching this and you have not listened to the podcast, it's definitely leveled up the past few months. I started this over a year ago and the podcast was not super great. Audio quality, we're still getting there. A lot of them are guests. So I've had a lot of guest speakers come onto the podcast recently, and a lot of valuable insight in areas that I'm not an expert in. So highly, highly recommend listening to that. I will leave the link to the show in the description below. But yeah, it's called The Real Talk with OliviaKelliher, and you can find it on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it, everything I wanted to cover in this video. But definitely follow me on Instagram and check out my stories, because the stories are where I kind of post a little bit more behind the scenes stuff. And yeah, I will do another video at the end of May, and I will give you an update with how everything is going. Until then, see you in the next one, you guys. Bye!